Welcome to My The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to Am I the Asshole Podcast. My goodness, it is a beautiful Thursday episode, and today we start our brand new book. Woo! I'm excited. Very, very excited. If you watched the Tuesday episode and you got to the end of that episode, you know what book we're doing. But if you don't know what book we're doing, we are doing Hooked. All right. This book is a spin-off, I guess retelling of like Neverland, or I think, is it Neverland or Promised Land? Something like that. But it's like Peter Pan and all that kind of stuff, but it's more of like a darker version of it. And there's going to be blood and killing and all this good stuff. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited to jump into this, to see what it's like. If you did check out Tuesday's episode and you got to the end, I did mention that I did read a bit of a I guess synopsis would be the right word of just a quick little summary of what the book is about and stuff like that. So I'm very, very excited. It was recommended to us by a lovely member who has been very, very active in the community, and I appreciate her being very, very active, and she's the reason why this book has been chosen. And so I do want to give a big shout out to our girl. I love Bananas. She's very awesome for this book recommendation and just being active in the community at all times, always commenting, being there on live streams, always checking out the episodes. So I do appreciate that, and show her some love in the comments. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get in today's thread, and then we'll hop into our brand new book. All right. So here we go. Let's see. All right, today's thread is Doctors, what do we not know about the human body? Okay. One, I didn't see mention, we apparently don't know how precisely our bodies can distinguish gas from poop. So we have some ideas. We know there are a ton of nerve endings in that area, but the precise mechanism of our bodies telling our brains this is a fart, let it loose, isn't really understood. What blows my mind is it's distinct enough that we even pass gas while asleep. That different must be weird or wired deep, which is crazy, because if I'm being honest with you, there's been a lot of times where I'm just like, oh shit, I gotta take a dookie, sit on the toilet, and it's just a big fart, and you're like, god damn it. Because I don't trust it. I don't trust farts. Oh no, I do not trust them. No, I do not, because there's been way too many times where I've had close calls and your boy's almost doo-dooed on himself. No, thank you. All right? No, thank you. No, thank you, sir, because, yeah. There's been far too many times your boy's almost doo-dooed on himself, and I don't trust it. I don't trust it, but that's kind of crazy how we don't have something in our brain that tells us like, hey, don't worry, it's a fart. Don't worry, or worry, it's poop, That's kind of crazy. All right. Doctors, what do we not know about the human body? Had a pathologist tell me that the interesting part of his job wasn't finding out how someone died. It was seeing everything that can be wrong with someone. So many life-threatening or life-altering horrible things that a person can have going on and still be alive. Good friend died of pneumonia. He was too busy at work, couldn't afford to take time off, kept using OTC meds for the symptoms. He died unattended, so the coroner had to get involved. They did an autopsy. His body had cancer in 3 different places. He never stopped. Dude was an old timer though. Damn. Imagine having cancer in 3 different parts of your body and you don't even know. That scares the fuck out of me. I won't lie to you. Like, I've had family members who've had cancer. I've had, not spouses, but I've had partners who their family members have had cancer. And it's one of those things where the cancer just comes out of nowhere. they're just kind of feeling sickish, or, they're like, and then they go to the doctors, they get some scans, tests done, and I don't know, they're like, you have cancer. And it's like, whoa. And for me, honestly, that freaks me the hell out. How cancer could just come out of nowhere. Just boop, it's there. Cancer is spawned in chat. It's wild to me, man. And that's why I try to live a very healthy lifestyle. I try to go to the gym. I try to get out. I try to eat as well as possible. But it's like, even then shit can happen to you. Like when I was 28, I had a heart attack. And it was funny because, even the doctor and everybody was just like, what the fuck? You're 28. How do you have a heart attack? And it stemmed from me having, and I still have this, but I have what's called arrhythmia. And arrhythmia in the heart means that your heart beats irregularly. So usually our heartbeat has a pattern to it, and mine doesn't. Mine doesn't have a pattern. Mine beats irregularly, or it stops beating at some points. And so with me having arrhythmia, at 28, I was sipping a mojito. That's what it was. My best friend, he made mojitos, and he made homemade pizza. I'm drinking, having a good time, feeling a little buzz. I was with my girl at the time. I was with my boy, and I just passed out. Just boom, hit the table. And they were like, oh shit, what's going on? And so then I kind of come to, and my chest is just aching, as if somebody's just squeezing my heart in their hand, kind of thing. And so then they carry me outside. The fire department gets there. They literally well, no, I didn't think they cut my shirt open. I think they cut it at the collar. So they cut it down a little bit so that way they could stick EKGs on me. And they were like, yeah, his blood pressure is really low. You know what I mean? And his heartbeat's very faint. And so then my mom got there, and my mom sees me all wired up and shit. She's like, oh, my baby. And the fire department dude is trying to hold her back. And they're like, no, that's his mom. That's his mom. And then she runs up to me, and she's like, are you okay? Oh, she's freaking out. So then her and, her boyfriend, they take me to the hospital. They run a quick blood test on me. I was in the hospital bed for 12 hours. And then the doctor finally comes in, and he was just like, how the fuck did this happen? And I was like, I have no idea. So they gave me fluids, and, they pretty much got me on a light medication and stuff like that. And they were just and then I went to a cardiologist, and he was showing me charts of what my heart looks like, and then what a normal heart looks like. And he was like, you see these little gaps in your heartbeat lines? He was like, that's where your heart's just stopping. It's just not going at all. And I was just like, fuck, dude. And I was telling on my family, and they thought I was gonna die and shit, and I'm just like, no, you're good. It's fine. The doctor's like, look, this is normal. We can do things to kind of help it along, but you know what I mean, you won't die, man, hopefully. And so yeah, man, it's crazy the things that just happen out of nowhere in your life. And that's why for me, I'm like, yo, cancer's crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy, because it's one of those things where you could have it and you don't even know. Oh, terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. So doctors, what do we not know about our bodies? I'm a dermatologist. We don't know what exactly causes itching, the molecular pathways for it. It's just why it can't be so hard to find a good treatment when a patient comes in for itchy skin. That's weird. We don't know why our skin itches. Huh. I always thought that we knew what the reasons for our skin being itchy. You know what I mean? Whether it's dry or irritated or whatever the case may be. But I guess dermatologists don't know why your skin's itchy. Yeah, they're just like, hey, nigga, I don't know. We trying to figure it out, but we don't know. That's something else. As I itch my chin. We don't know why your chin itches, sir. That's crazy. Okay. Hey, wait, we learning something new today, y'all. All right, doctors of Reddit, what do we not know about our body? I'm an anesthesiologist. We still don't know why inhaled volatile anesthetics like sevoflurane, I am butchering the shit out of that. The principal anesthetic agent used to maintain general anesthesia work. We kind of have an idea of maybe how it happens, but really we don't know. It's commonly said in my field that whoever figures this out will win the Nobel Prize in medicine. That's crazy. So we just know anesthesia works. We just know that it works. We don't know how it works. We just know that it works. That's crazy. Damn. And honestly, it makes you kind of scary. It's like, dude, how much do doctors actually know about what they're doing? You know, like doctors just know that, hey, this works. We don't know how it works, but we just know it works. That's wild. Absolutely wild. Damn. Yeah, they're just like, we just know that it works. We don't know how it works. We just know that it fucking works. Damn. Okay. All right, doctors, what do we not know about the human body? I'm a sleep specialist. While we do not have good theories about some of the functions of REM as far as how it affects the brain and health, we still don't fully understand the purpose of dreaming. Like, why do we dream at all? And why do dreams have a narrative instead of random, incomprehensible imagery? Unfortunately, this is unlikely to even be solved. That's crazy. How they're like, we don't know why we dream. We don't understand. Personally, I think dreams are like other versions of you. You know what I mean? It's like other you being, because, okay, the multi-theory or the multiverse theory, a lot of people kind of go with it. And for me, I'm like, you know what? I kind of think so too. Like, maybe there's another Earth out there, and there's another version of me that is doing things that I didn't do. You know, it's like, say I said no to this person, but, you know, the alternate version of me said yes. There are some, because in my dreams, bro, I be living. There'd be times where, like, I go to jail and I'm like, fuck, I'm in jail. Like, this is my life forever, you know? And then there's some times where I'm, like, rich and, like, I buy a mall or something, or, like, there's something I've always wanted to buy. And in my dreams, like, I have that thing that I've always wanted to buy. And then I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I don't have it anymore. You know? So I personally think our dreams are just a peer into our other selves. That's my theory anyway. You could have your own theory, but that's my theory of what dreams actually are. Is just a way we peer into our alternative selves. And I like that theory because I'm just like, damn. Because like I said, I be living in my dreams. My dreams be crazy. I die in my dreams sometimes. And it wouldn't be like unfathomable to think like, yeah, in your dreams, there is probably or not in your dreams, sorry, in another universe or whatever, there is a possibility that, like, you could die. I mean, there's times where people have come with close, you know, encounters and stuff. And simple shit where, like, something could have hit you in the eye, but, like, you dodged it or something. You know, but in an alternate universe, you didn't dodge and it just hit you in the eye and you died. You know what I mean? It's like simple little shit. Or, you know, you got ran over by a car, but, like, you yourself, you dodge moded the car and you were like, oh my God, what the fuck? Oh, you know, but in the other version, you got smacked by the car and you died. And that, you know, it's crazy to think about, you know? All right, man. Damn, that's wild. All right, doctors, what do we not know about the human body? According to my doctor, what causes IBS? Oh, also, what exactly causes sexual induced sneezing? What? Wait. Sexually induced sneezing? Wait, what? What the fuck is that? What is sexually induced sneezing? Huh. Okay. Sure. Sexually induced sneezing is crazy. Now, the cause of IBS, I don't know. Okay, damn. I'm telling you, man, we learning new shit today. We are definitely learning new shit today. Sexually induced sneezing. Just be like, achoo, damn girl, you sexy. I got a boner because of that sneeze. I've never sneezed and my dick's just been like wham, like that's just never happened. Maybe it's happened to some guys. I don't know. My men's out there, let me know. Doctors, what do we not know about the human body? I had a lecturer at medical school say half of medicine is made up. We just don't know which half. That's wild. Damn. That makes sense though. That makes sense because there's a lot of like I used to take depression medications, and a lot of my medications that I would take were placebos. They were they would make me perceive like I'm getting better, or they would make it seem like, oh my God, I'm making progress. I don't feel depressed because of my medication, but it was all placebo. It's all of like, it's a mind thing. It's kind of a thing it's used as a tool to, help you build confidence and make you think like, oh, I'm getting better. And then you get to a point where like, man, I haven't been depressed in a really long time. Maybe I don't need this medication anymore. And then you stop taking it and you're able to like be cured of depression. It's wild to me. When I found that out, I was like, these are just placebos? Like, dang, that's crazy. And yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that is like that, where it's a placebo. It's just to trick you, to make you feel like you are making progress, when in reality, you're not. You're just simply doing it on your own without realizing you're doing it on your own. It's kind of the action that is giving you the reaction of feeling like, oh, I'm doing things, crazy. All right, doctors, what do we not know about the human body? Not an MD, but I'm a PhD. Right now, we are working on the connection between our intestinal microbiome and neuropsychiatric disease, right? Neuropsychiatric disease and brain aging. For instance, people with inflammatory bowel disease are more likely to develop dementia and experience comorbid anxiety and depression, but we don't know why. That's wild. Your stomach is that connected to your brain. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. I'm probably going to have dementia when I am old, because I have a very sensitive stomach. There's a lot of food that just don't agree with my stomach. Like, my stomach will be like, nah, throw this up right now. And I will literally throw it up. Like, there's just certain food where my stomach is just like, no, we're not taking this in. I have a very sensitive stomach. I hate it. Like, there are certain alcohols that I can't drink, or else I'll just throw them up immediately. Like, I have to be very particular with the alcohols that I drink, and I have to be very particular with the types of foods that I eat as well, because there are just a certain ingredients in foods that my stomach is just like, no, nope. Yeah. Anything with like flaxen in it and shit, I can't eat that. I can't. My body just doesn't know how to break it down. And so I just throw it up. And there's been a lot of times where I would eat foods with flaxen in it and I'm just throwing up. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with me? And I just always was like, oh, I just have a sensitive stomach. It is what it is. Went to the doctor for it. And the doctor was like, oh, did you know that like flaxen is poisonous to your body? And I'm like, you're shitting. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's why when you eat foods with flaxen in it, you just throw it up. Because your body's literally rejecting the poison you're putting inside your body. And I'm like, fuck, ain't that something? I never knew about that. I was just eating food. But the doctor was like, nah, nigga, you're poisoning yourself. Crazy, man. Crazy. So I guess that makes sense. Like I said, I'm going to have dementia when I'm older. Fuck, that sucks. Man. That's a great thing to tell a girl on a first date. Hey, I'm going to have dementia when I grow up. So, just letting you know. All right, doctors, what do we not know about the human body? OBGYN here. We still don't know exactly what makes labor start. We know all about the mechanics and physiology, but we don't know what makes the average uterus say, it's go time. Yeah, that's true. Because a lot of women will have their babies earlier than they're expected, or they'll have it later than expected. I heard from one of my friends. her sister is an OBGYN, and she's like, literally only 10% of women actually have their babies on the actual due date. Most babies are born either before or after their predicted due date. And that's like 90% of babies. So like me, you, and your mom and your dad and all that, like majority of us have been born either before or after our due dates. And there's only 10% of people out in the world that were born on their actual due date. That shit is crazy. And you would never think that either. You would never like think something like that. And then, you know, somebody who delivers babies all the fucking time are just like, yeah, like guess what? You know, I've seen some babies born in my life, and guess what? They don't come when they're supposed to. They either come early or they come after, because we don't know what makes the uterus say, all right, let's go. It's go time, baby. Get the fuck out of me. I'm done. And that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. All right, we're going to do two more, and then we'll end the thread and get into our book. So, doctors, what do we not know about the human body? Not a doctor, but this was posted a few years ago. We still aren't sure what causes precordial catch syndrome. Okay. Precordial catch syndrome. What is that? Precordial catch syndrome is a non-serious condition in which there are sharp stabbing pains in the chest. Oh shit, I probably have this. These particularly get worse with inhaling and occur within a small area. Spells of pain usually last less than a few minutes, typically begins at rest, and other symptoms are absent. Concerns about the condition may result in anxiety. I have had this for a long time. There'll be times I'm just doing my thing. I'm just like, what the fuck? And I try to like breathe in, but like it makes the like pain worse. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And then it'll kind of go away. And I'm like, okay, I think I can breathe. We're chilling. We're fine. I'm not dying anymore. We're good. All right. So I've had this. I just never knew what it was called. Now I know what it's called. You learn something new every day, man. You learn something new every day. Damn. That's nice. I like that. All right. Cool. You learn something new every day. Okay. This is going to be our last one. Doctors, what do we not know about the human body? The gut microbiome. While it's well known that the gut plays a huge role in digestion, researchers are discovering that how much our gut bacteria affects other part of our health, like mood, immunity, and even brain function. Yeah, we already talked about that, where they were talking about how your body enzymes actually affects, giving you dementia. Yes, I did not need to be reminded that I'm going to have dementia when I'm older. Damn it. I'm sorry, future wife. But you're going to be taking care of me. I'm going to be like, who are you? And she's going to be like, I'm your wife. And you'll be like, are you? I mean, you kind of sexy. I ain't going to lie to you. Come here, girl. Come get some of this 60-year-old penis. Come here. Let me love you. Oh, man. But that's going to be the end of that thread. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. Hopefully you learned something new, man. I know I did. I learned a lot of shit. I learned I might have dementia when I'm older. I learned what it's called when I have random chest pain, when I'm just walking around doing my boom-de-bamp kind of thing. Hey, we learned that damn near most medicines are fake. That's craziness. But hey, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you research something and you want to share it into the comment section, please do. It's going to be awesome. But without further ado, I'm going to get through announcements, and then we will get into the first few chapters of our new book. All right. So patreon.com/MyLastWillPodcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. Definitely get in there, man. We're building a great community over there. We already have an amazing community of you people over here on the free 99 side. So let's build a great community over there as well. All right. And audio listeners, thank you for all the support you've been showing, man. Every time I look at my analytics, I always see you guys support every single day, and I do appreciate that so very much, all right? So keep downloading, man. Keep rating us 5 stars. It helps out a lot, brings in new people. You guys keep coming back. It's all awesome. And guess what, baby? It's for free. And if it's for free, it is for me. And if you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as YouTube. All the links are down in the description. After this episode, I should have a playlist for this new book, so that way all the episodes will be in that playlist, and you guys can go back and check out previous episodes if you missed any, and we'll be chilling. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the book. I think I'm gonna have to set up the audio, so give me a second to set up the audio. Let's see here.
Blackstone presents Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This book is read by Felicity Munro and Rupert Hawthorne. For anyone who has been the villain in someone else's story. You can have anything in life if you will sacrifice everything else for it. J.M. Barrie, Peter Pan. Prologue. Once upon a time. It feels different than I thought it would, killing him. My knuckles tighten as I twist my wrist, and when his eyes widen, blood spraying from his neck and dousing the skin on my forearm, I'm hit with a burst of satisfaction that I chose to hook my blade in his carotid artery. Fatal enough to ensure his death, but slow enough where I get to enjoy watching every last second of his miserable life drain away, taking his pathetic soul along with it. I knew it would only take mere seconds for him to lose consciousness, but that's all I need. A few seconds. Just long enough for him to stare into my eyes and know that I'm the monster he helped create, the living incarnate of his sins coming back to sow justice. But I had rather hoped he'd beg. Just a little. I stay crouching on top of him long after the high of his bloodshed fades, my calloused palm wrapped around his neck, the other gripping the sheath of my blade, waiting for something. But the only thing that comes is the chill as his blood cools on my skin, and the knowledge it's not his death that will bring me peace. It isn't until my phone vibrates in my pocket that I release him, the weight of his control lifting away as his corpse drops from my arms. Hello, Rufus? How many times do I have to tell you not to call me that? He snaps. I grin. At least one more. Is it done? Walking through the office and into the ensuite, I turn the water until it's tepid, putting my phone on speaker and beginning the task of rinsing the blood spatter from my arms. Of course it is. Rue grunts. How's it feel? My hands grip the edge of the sink and I lean forward to stare at myself in the mirror. How does it feel? There's no quickening of my heart, no fire surging through my veins, no power leaching from my bones. Rather anticlimactic, I'm afraid. Grabbing a towel off the wall hook, I dry myself and walk back into the office, reaching for my suit. Well, that's not surprising. James Barrie, the hardest kid to please in the entire fucking universe. I smirk as I button my suit jacket, adjusting the cuffs while I head back to stand over my uncle. I gaze down at him, his black eyes staring vacantly at the ceiling, his mouth open and lax, much like he always forced mine to be. Funny that. But my innocence was stolen long before him. I kick his leg out of the way, his hideous crocodile boots splashing in the blood that's pooled underneath his body. Sighing, I pinch the bridge of my nose. Things got a little messy. I'll take care of it, Rue laughs. Lighten up, kid. You did good. Meet me at the Jolly Roger. It's time to celebrate. I hang up the phone without responding and let it sink in that this is the last moment I'll ever spend with a relative. Closing my eyes, I breathe deep, searching for a sliver of regret. There is none. Tick, tick, tick. The sound jumps through the silence, scratching against my insides. My teeth grind as my eyes shoot open, my ears straining for that incessant noise. Crouching down, I take the handkerchief from my breast pocket and reach into my uncle's jeans, pulling out his gold pocket watch. Tick, tick, tick. Rage twists around my gut and squeezes, my hand slamming the watch onto the ground. My heart races as I stand, bringing my foot smashing down on the hideous object over and over again, until sweat breaks across my brow, dripping along my cheek and onto the floor. It isn't until I'm sure of its silence that I'm able to relax. Straightening, I huff out a breath, slicking back my hair and cracking my neck. There. That's better. Goodbye, Uncle. Tucking the handkerchief back into my suit, I walk away from the man who I wish I'd never known. Now I'm one step closer to the one responsible for everything, and this time he won't be able to fly away.
1. Wendy. I've never been to Massachusetts, but I've heard about the lack of heat. So while the temperature change from Florida is a shock, it isn't wholly unexpected. Still, as I shiver in my tank top, the light breeze blowing across my arms, I can't help but wish I had stayed behind, instead of choosing to follow my family to their new home in Bloomsburg. But I can't stand the thought of not being a phone call away if they need me. My father is a workaholic, even more so after my mother's death. And without me around, my 16-year-old brother Jonathan would be all alone. I've always been a daddy's girl, even though he makes it difficult. I'd hoped after the move that he'd slow down, make more time for his family instead of constantly searching for the next big thing to sink his teeth into. But Peter Michaels is never one to settle. His thirst for new ventures overpowers his ache for a family connection. Being named the Forbes top businessman for the 5th year in a row means he has a lot of opportunity in that regard. And being the owner of the biggest airline in the Western Hemisphere means he has lots of funding for said opportunities. Nev Airland. If you can dream it, we can fly you there. We should go out tonight, my friend Angie says as she wipes down the counters at the Vanilla Bean, the coffee shop where we both work. And do what? I ask. Honestly, I was hoping to just head home and relax. I've only been here for a little over a month, and I've been working so much that I haven't had a night to spend with Jonathan. Although he's in the teen stage of, I don't need anyone or anything, so he may not want me around anyway. She shrugs. I don't know. A couple of the girls were talking about heading to the Jolly Roger. I scrunch my nose, both at her use of the girls and at the name of wherever she's talking about. Oh, come on, Wendy. You've been here for almost 2 months and you haven't gone out with me once. She sticks out her bottom lip, her hands coming together in prayer. Shaking my head, I sigh. I don't think your friends like me. That's not true, she insists. They just don't know you yet. You have to actually come out with us for that? I don't know, Angie. My teeth sink into my bottom lip. My dad's out of town, and he doesn't like it when I go out and draw attention. She rolls her eyes. You're 20, girl. Cut the cord. I give her a half-hearted smile. She, like most people, can't understand what it's like being Peter Michaels' daughter. Even if I wanted to, there is no cutting the cord. His power and influence reach every corner of the universe, and there isn't anything or anyone that escapes his control. Or, if there is, I've never met them. The bell above the front door chimes. Angie's friend Maria walking in, her long black hair glinting off the overhead lighting as she saunters to us. My brows rise as I glance at her, then back to Angie. What kind of place is gonna let a 20-year-old in anyway? Don't you have a fake ID? Maria asks as she reaches the front counter. I definitely don't have that. I've never snuck into a bar or a club in my life. My birthday is in a few weeks. I'll just go out with you guys next time. I wave them off. Maria eyes me up and down. Angie, don't you have your sister's ID? They look similar. She reaches out and touches my brown hair. Just show a little bit of that body, and they won't even look at the face on the card. I laugh as I brush off her words, but my insides tighten, heat surging through my veins and lighting up my cheeks. I'm not a rule breaker. Never have been. But the thought of going tonight, of doing something bad, sends a thrill rushing down my spine. Maria is one of the girls, and she hasn't been anywhere close to welcoming. But as I watch her grin and run her fingers through her hair, I wonder if maybe Angie is right. Maybe it's all in my head and I just haven't given her a chance. I've never really had a close group of girlfriends, so I'm not sure how it's all supposed to work. I don't care if you don't want to go, Angie pouts, throwing her damp rag at me. I'm making the executive decision. I laugh, shaking my head as I finish restocking the cups for the morning. Maria pops her gum loudly, her dark eyes searing into the side of my face. You don't want to go? I shrug. It's not that. I just... Probably for the best, she interrupts. I don't think the JR is your kind of place. My spine bristles and I stand up straighter. What's that supposed to mean? She smirks. I mean, it's not for children. Maria, come on, don't be a bitch, Angie pipes in. Maria laughs. I'm not. I'm just saying, what if he's there? Can you imagine? She'd be scarred for life from even being in the same building and run home to tell her daddy. I lift my chin. My dad isn't even in town. She cocks her head, her lips thinning. Your nanny, then. Irritation spikes through my gut, and a need to prove her wrong clicks my decision into place, pushing the words off my tongue. I look at Angie. I'm in. Yes! Angie claps her hands. Maria's eyes glint. Hope you can handle it. Give me a break, Maria. She'll be fine. It's a bar, not a sex club. Angie scoffs before turning toward me. Don't listen to her. Besides, we only go there so she can try and get the attention of her mystery man. I will get his attention. Angie tilts her head. He doesn't even know you exist, girl. My luck is bound to change at some point. Maria shrugs. Confusion makes my brows pull in. Who are you guys even talking about? A slow grin creeps across Maria's face, and a wistful look coasts across Angie's eyes. Heck.
2. James. There's a new proposition on the table. I pour 2 fingers of Basil Hayden into the crystal tumbler, adding 1 ice cube and savouring the flavour before I turn to face Rue. I wasn't aware we were taking any new propositions. He shrugs, lighting up the end of his cigar and puffing. We aren't, but I'm a businessman and this one has massive potential. His voice is muffled as he speaks around the roll of tobacco, but years of soaking up his words as gospel make him easy to understand. Rufus, known to the world as Rue, is the only person in my life worthy of my trust. He saved me from hell, and I'll never be able to repay that debt. But the courtesy only extends to him, which makes it difficult when he decides to bring new people into our operation. He's grown reckless with age. One day, your inability to turn down potential will get you killed, I tell him. His eyes narrow. I have no intention of dying and leaving my legacy to a Brit. I smirk. All of this is mine anyway. He just doesn't like to say it out loud, doesn't want to admit the student has surpassed the master, that he only holds the reins because I allow him to. It's been the truth since the moment my uncle's blood spilled under my hand 8 years ago, the day I turned 18. I gutted him like the worthless fish he was, then used the same blade to cut into my steak at dinner, daring anyone to question why my fingers were stained with red. Rue may have the title of boss, but it's me they all fear. Sitting my glass on the edge of the desk, I sit down in one of the wing-back chairs. Your mortality is not something I particularly like to joke about. Sometimes I truly believe Rue thinks he's untouchable. It makes him sloppy, makes him trust too easily, allows people to get too close. Luckily he has me, and I'll slice my knife deep into the belly of anyone who tries, reveling at how the life drains from their eyes while their blood drips into my hands. I guess when you've experienced the things I have, you learn quickly that immortality is only granted through people's memories. Rue leans forward, resting his cigar on the ornate ashtray on the corner of his desk.
Then pay attention. We have someone who's interested in being a new partner.
Rue grins.
Wants to expand our distribution, run our pixie to new corners of the universe.
Fascinating. I dust a piece of lint off my suit jacket. Who is it? I ask, purely to appease him. I have zero interest in bringing on someone new. We've been using our current drug runner for the past 3 years, and I vetted him personally. Watched him sweat through his clothes while he watched our pixie dust get loaded on the plane, hidden inside crates of lobster. Sat next to him in the cockpit through the entire flight, twirling my hook blade through my fingers as he pissed himself from the nerves. If you want to ensure someone's loyalty, you have to make sure they understand why you deserve it. And I've made sure that people understand the end of a blade hurts worse when the person wielding it enjoys causing pain. Rue wipes his hand over his mouth.
You've heard of Neverland Plains?
I freeze in place, the blood in my veins icing over. I'm quite sure I've never mentioned that name to anyone, especially Rue. Can't say that I have. My jaw ticks.
Well, you must be the only one, Rue laughs. The owner, Peter Michaels, just moved here.
My heart slams against my ribs. How could I have missed this? Oh? Rue nods.
He's looking for a new adventure.
He smiles, his slightly crooked teeth gleaming.
It's only fair for us to welcome him in properly, let him know how things around here work.
My hands twitch with the rage that spikes inside of me whenever I hear Peter Michaels' name. I reach out and pick up my tumbler, my grasp tight around the crystal as anticipation blooms in my chest. How fortuitous that the man I long to kill is serving himself to me on a silver platter. Well, I think this sounds like a wonderful opportunity, I smile. Rue picks up his cigar.
I wasn't asking your permission, kid, but I'm glad you're on board.
So when do we meet with him? I sip from my drink, trying to tame the quick beats of my heart.
I meet with him tonight, alone.
He narrows his eyes. My gut clenches. Let me go with you, Rufus. You shouldn't meet him alone. Rue sighs, running a hand through his ridiculous bright red hair.
You're too intimidating, kid. I need this meeting to be friendly.
Can't argue with him there. At least take one of the boys. The thought of Rue alone with Peter Michaels sends a chill up my spine. Rue blows a ring of smoke in the air. I lean forward, knuckling the top of his desk. Rufus, promise me you won't go alone. Don't be foolish.
And don't forget your place, he snaps. I run this, not you. You answer to me. How about you show your gratitude and, for once, just do as you're fucking told?
My teeth grind at his tone, and if he were anyone else, I would thank him for the reminder right before I cut out his tongue. But Rue gets away with a lot of things that no one else does. I first saw Rue when I was 13, 2 years after I was shipped to America to live with my uncle. Reading in the library, I heard a commotion down the hall and went to investigate the noise. Peeking through a crack in the office door, I watched, mesmerized, as a large man with olive skin and dyed red hair loomed over my uncle's desk, threatening him within an inch of his life, a gun at his temple, and menace bleeding through his thick Boston accent. It was awe-inspiring, truly. I had never seen my uncle cower before anyone. It was usually his favourite pastime to see others fall to their knees for him. As a politician, it happened publicly often. As a person filled with rage and perversion, it happened in private even more. So I found this mystery man enthralling and took to following him when he left, desperate to emulate his power. I suppose you could call it obsession, but I had never known anyone like him. Had never seen someone command obedience from a man who ran the world. I wanted to know how to do that too. But at 13, I hadn't mastered the art of being undetected, and Rue knew I was stalking him all along. Took me in and taught me everything he knew, introduced me to the streets of Bloomsburg, and kept me sane through the nightmares that plagued my sleep. So I'll defer to what he wants, because there isn't a single soul on this planet that's taken care of me the way he has. There was once, but that was long ago. Another lifetime, really. You're right, I say. I trust your judgment. It's everyone else's I don't. Rue laughs and opens his mouth to respond, but a knock on the door interrupts.
Come in,
Rue grunts. Starkey, one of our younger recruits, pops his head in. Sorry to interrupt, boss. His eyes slide to mine, widening as he quickly looks away. There's a few girls trying to come in with fake IDs, making a hell of a time for us downstairs.
You come up here to bother us with this shit?
Rue snaps.
What the hell do we pay you for?
I grin at Rue's temper and walk to the security cameras, looking at the one aimed over the front entrance. Just as Starkey says, there are 3 girls, one of which is currently screaming in our bouncer's face. Pathetic. I continue my perusal, my eyes locking on the beauty standing off to the side. My stomach tightens as my gaze trails along her body in a tight blue dress. Her arms are wrapped around her middle, her eyes darting back and forth between the bouncer and the cabs that line the street. Annoyance snaps in my chest with the fact I can't see her as clearly as I'd like, but I see her enough to know she looks uncomfortable. Innocent. Definitely doesn't belong in a place like this. And for some reason, that shoots a thrill straight to my cock, making it thicken and pulse as I imagine all the ways this place could defile her. There are not many people that inspire a reaction from me. A life of not reacting has bled into my skin, hardening into an impenetrable shield. Nothing allowed in or out, just an empty shell with a single purpose. The fact this girl has tweaked my interest, even a modicum amount, has my curiosity piqued. Let them in, I interrupt, my eyes still on the brunette beauty. Starkey stops rambling, his eyes shooting to me before landing back on Rue. Are you sure Did I stutter? I ask, turning to face him. Or maybe it's the accent that gets in the way of you understanding. No, it's just... It's just, I interrupt. Clearly you're in need of some guidance on how to handle the situation, or have I misunderstood your reasoning for bringing this trivial issue to our attention? Rue smirks, leaning back in his chair. No, Hook, you didn't misunderstand. Then it's a problem to be sure, I nod. Tell me, would you agree that we need to fire whoever is working the door? I don't... Starkey starts. After all, if he lacks the ability to control a group of females, how can we be sure he'll handle anyone else? I cock my head. Starkey swallows, his Adam's apple bobbing. There... You see, I continue, slipping my hook blade from my pocket and flipping it open. Subduing a woman is all about control. I walk toward him, twirling the stainless steel between my fingers, the intricate brown design of the handle sliding against my skin. A delicate weaving of power, a give and take, if you will, supplying them with the absolute pleasure of your dominance. Stopping in front of him, the knife pauses as I grasp it in my palm. Clearly, our bouncer this evening possesses more of a submissive gene. My free hand reaches out, straightening his tie. I understand how difficult it must be to recognize the same trait within yourself. I lean in close, allowing the tip of my blade to rest against his throat. Be a good boy, Starkey, and let them in. Yes, sir, he mumbles. Patting him on the shoulder, he spins and rushes out the door. Rue points at me with his cigar, amusement lining his eyes.
And that is why you aren't coming to this meeting.
I smile, straightening the cuffs of my jacket. That's fair. I'm off to the main floor anyway. I have a bouncer to make disappear, and a sudden appetite for something pretty. Rue chuckles.
Just make sure they're legal.
Grabbing the door handle, I pause. Rue, he grunts. Make sure Peter knows I'm so looking forward to meeting him face to face.
3. Wendy. An hour ago, I would have sworn we were on the verge of being arrested. And now I'm sitting in the VIP room of a swanky bar, sipping overpriced champagne, courtesy of an admirer. Apparently, the legal drinking age is more of a suggestion here than an actual requirement. Embarrassment slams into me as I think of all the people outside, watching Maria yell because the bouncer didn't fall for my fake ID. I'm not surprised. I don't look a thing like Angie's sister. I was 2 seconds away from dipping into the closest cab and bolting. But then, a blonde man in a fitted suit walked out and whispered in the doorman's ear. Next thing you know, we were led to a VIP area. I feel extremely out of place, but this is arguably the most fun I've had in years, which makes me feel pathetic considering we aren't doing anything other than drinking and people watching. Or more specifically, watching for one person. Hook. I roll my eyes at the name, but can't help the tendril of curiosity that's bloomed inside of me. Apparently, he's the main reason they always come to this place over any other, just for the hope to see him again. Maria swears he's her soulmate, so every weekend she shows back up, her eyes peeled and her legs already half open, hoping he'll come down from his ivory tower and she can steal him away. So, tell me about your man, I say to Maria as I sip from my champagne flute and glance around the room. Angie groans. Ugh, don't get us started. Maria's face splits into a grin. It happened about a month ago when I was at the bar getting around, and I swear to you, the crowds parted, and there he was, sitting like a fucking god in the back booth, cigar smoke swirling around him. Did you go talk to him? I ask. Angie laughs. Yeah, right. She'd have to get through all his lackeys for that. I cock my head. His lackeys? She lifts a shoulder. He's always surrounded by men. My brows shoot to my hairline. Maybe he's gay. Angie cackles, but Maria's gaze narrows. We had a moment. A moment so strong he never searched her out after. Angie snorts. He's clearly a busy man, Maria snaps, wiping a strand of hair from her face. But that's why we're here now. One of these nights, he'll find me. And he'll take you up to his bed and split you apart with his monster cock. Angie's eyes grow big as she spreads her hands shoulder-width apart. Giggling, I rub my face. Well, that sounds realistic. Maria's lip curls. Girl, why'd you even come if you're gonna talk shit the whole time? You could have just stayed home and saved us all this trouble. I shrink into myself, my stomach burning with guilt. I'm sorry. I believe you. I do. My fingers tangle in my lap, twisting around each other. You just make him sound so Mythical. Her eyes roll. It's not like he's a figment of our imagination, Wendy. He's a businessman. He owns the fucking bar. Her hands smack the seat cushion. My brow rises. He does? I think so, anyway. He's not always down here, but whenever he is, he comes from the back and always sits in that same spot. Maria points to the far corner of the room where a booth sits, an empty space in the otherwise crowded room. She takes a sip of her drink. Anyway, luck is on my side. I can feel it. She taps her long red nail to her temple. I lean over, clicking my champagne flute against hers, trying to mend the bridges I've obviously torched before they could finish being built. I think you're right. It does feel lucky tonight. Maria grins, the first genuine smile she's ever given me, and satisfaction blossoms in my chest. Maybe I'll be okay at this friend thing after all. Suddenly, heat pricks the back of my neck, and I twist in my seat, an unsettling feeling of being watched washing over me. But when I turn, there's nothing there. Odd. I drain the rest of my glass and stand, leaning in toward the girls. Hey, I'll be back. Need the ladies' room. Hey! Angie shouts when I'm halfway out of the room. The one down here is always packed. Find the hallway to the right of the bar. There's one in the back that isn't used as much. Nodding, I commit her directions to memory and leave, weaving my way through the main area. My vision blurs the slightest bit from the champagne, and I stumble, slamming into a body. Shit, I'm sorry. My hands reach up instinctively, landing against a solid wall of muscle. Rough palms grasp my shoulders, goosebumps sprouting along my skin from the heat of the stranger's touch. Filthy words for such a pretty mouth. The deep accented voice slides across my skin like silk and wraps itself around me, a shiver skating down my spine. His grip tightens, palms moving until they brush my upper arms. My hands are still pressed against his chest, the black fabric of his suit soft under the pads of my fingers. My breath stutters as he sucks me into his gaze, his eyes like cerulean glass, an almost haunting chill to their beauty. I break our stare, finally letting his words filter into my brain. Excuse me? He smirks, and I take in his high cheekbones, a natural highlight falling on the sharp angles, contrasting harshly against his jet-black eyebrows and tousled hair. My stomach clenches as I realize just how attractive this man is. His mouth descends until it's next to my ear, his breath trickling down my neck, making heat spike through my core. I said. No, I heard what you said, I cut in. My question was rhetorical. He leans back, a slow smile spreading across his lips, his thumbs rubbing up and down in a rhythmic motion against my bare skin. Oh? I nod. Yeah. My chest tightens as I glance around, taking in our surroundings. Dozens of people, and yet it feels like he's the only one in the room. His energy crackles through the air, desperate to cling to his skin. This man screams power, and for a split second, I wonder what it would be like to dive into his brand of trouble, to live without limits just for a while. Ridiculous. Shaking my head, I step back, my teeth sinking into my bottom lip. Okay, well, this has been a pleasure. He purrs. He moves into me again, grabbing my palm and bringing it to his lips, skimming them back and forth in a whisper of a kiss. My heart skips. I was going to say strange, but sure, a pleasure. Taking my hand away, my stomach twists. I almost feel disappointed to be leaving him, and the feeling is unsettling. I move to walk around him, but he grasps my arm, pulling me back until I feel every hard line of his body against the soft curves of mine. Gasping, I freeze in place. This man, this stranger, touches me like it's his right, like I'm his to touch. Don't I get to know your name? His voice rumbles against my neck. My legs squeeze together from the deep timbre of his voice. I've never had somebody handle me the way he is. Never had someone like this give me their attention. It's both infuriating and intoxicating. The strange mix of emotion making nerves sizzle underneath my skin. Blowing out of breath, I try to stem the tremble in my voice. Maybe it's the champagne, or maybe it's the man himself, but the urge to be a different kind of Wendy has my tongue loosening before I can stop it. No, I don't think you've earned it. I wrench my arm from his grasp, and for the record, these pretty lips will say whatever the fuck they want. His eyes flare, and the corner of his mouth twitches, but he doesn't speak again. Just puts his hands in the pockets of his three-piece suit and rocks on his heels, his gaze searing through my back as I spin to walk away.
4. James. My heart slams against my ribs. Wendy Michaels. I know her, of course. The daughter of the man whom I've been keeping tabs on since I was 11 years old. Her father stashes her in the dark now that she's older, most likely to keep her safe from the unsavoury side of his business. But when you've lived your life following a man's legacy, you learn everything about him, including the shape of his shadows. Which is why I'm not sure how I missed that he was moving here. Still, I've never begrudged the offspring for the sins of their father. We're all a byproduct of evil, some of us born into it, and others created from circumstance. However, if the universe is placing her in my palms, the least I can do is handle her properly. My cock lengthens at the thought of driving inside her until she breaks, leaving wounds that scar with the reminder I was there, tarnishing her innocence and then tossing her at her father's feet, a defiled version of the girl he bred. Delicious. I've watched her from the moment she walked into my bar, recognition stealing my breath, clarity that the grainy resolution of our security footage didn't allow me. A smile creeps on my lips as I walk back to the office, where I'll continue to follow her through the cameras. The thrill of the chase thrums through my veins, anticipation of catching her sinking into my bones. The truth is, things have been rather boring as of late. I'm salivating for something new to sink my teeth into, and Wendy Michaels is the perfect pet project. I'm giddy at the thought of taming her until she purrs, then sending her back with a new master controlling her leash. A beautiful harmony as I conduct the symphony of Peter's destruction. Unbuttoning my suit jacket, I slide into the leather seat behind my desk, typing in Wendy's name, watching as articles flash across my screen. My stomach tightens with excitement as I read of the love for his daughter. His little shadow. Fitting nickname, I think. After all, one can't leave their shadow behind without missing it in the end. A gruesome image of me thrusting inside of her on top of his remains, my cum dripping from between her thighs and mixing with the pool of blood beneath us, makes my cock jerk violently, a groan ripping from my throat as I palm my aching erection. This won't do. Pulling out my phone, I send a text to one of the cocktail waitresses on staff tonight, Moira, telling her to stop what she's doing and come find me now. Clicking out of the articles, I pull up the security feed, satisfaction burrowing in my chest as I see her sipping champagne and trying to act as though she belongs. She doesn't. Not here, and certainly not with the pathetic group of girls she's with. Her innocence shines like a beacon, a sparkling jewel in the midst of trash, bait for my darkness to come and smother it whole. The door clicks open and shut, the tall, scantily clad body of Moira sauntering toward me, a smirk on her ruby-red lips. "Hark," she breathes, walking around the oak desk.
I've missed you.
I allow a soft smile to play across my lips, ignoring the way her voice grates against my ears. My hand brushes a strand of black hair behind her shoulder, cupping the back of her neck and pulling until she's centimeters away, her moist breath skating across my skin. Her head jerks.
Sorry, new tattoo. Still kinda sore.
On your knees. She drops dutifully, her manicured palm rubbing over my length, her mouth pressing kisses against the fabric. My teeth grind, annoyance lancing through me from her poor attempt at foreplay. I palm the back of her head, fingers wrapping around her hair as I jerk her face upward. My free hand presses against her jaw until I feel the indent of her teeth through her skin, my thumb smearing the red paint off her lips. She flinches, her cheeks smooshing as I grip her face tightly, causing a spike of pleasure to skitter down my spine. This suit is cashmere, sweetheart. Don't sully it with $3 stains. Understand? She gulps and nods. Good girl. I pat her cheek before lowering her head back to my lap. My gaze swings to the computer, watching the true object of my desire, and as Moira's hot mouth surrounds my cock, slurping along the shaft and sucking me down her throat, my eyes stay locked on the cameras, imagining the day where I'll have Wendy in her place. And I'll make her choke on something truly filthy. Still alive, I see. I deadpan as Rue waltzes through the office door.
Alive and never better.
He grins, walking to the tan globe that houses his brandy and pouring himself a glass. I take it that means the meeting went well? My brows rise, noting the time. It's only been a few hours. There has been an anxious energy pricking at my insides while I waited on his return. Regardless of Peter Michaels' squeaky clean image, I know he's a dangerous man. I also know Rue sometimes lets his temper get the best of him, and even though I'm thankful nothing nefarious happened, I still wish he would have let me accompany him, if only to ensure his safety. I haven't mastered the art of propriety, only to lose my composure at the first sight of Peter. I would have remained calm, shook his hand, and looked him in the eye as I imagined all the ways I'll enjoy bringing him a torturous death. Rue sighs, sinking into the black couch against the wall, sipping from his tumbler and grabbing a cigar.
The prick never showed up. Sent some kid to do his dirty work, like I put everything on the line for some two-bit punk.
A strange sense of relief floods my chest. Absurd.
Disrespectful,
Rue spits. Does this mean you've changed your mind about working with him? My head cocks. I hope he says yes. Having Peter embroiled in our business will make it difficult when it comes time to end his life. Not impossible. Just challenging. Rue shrugs, staring at his cigar as he rolls it between his fingers.
I told the boy to send a message to Mr. Michaels. Let him know how we do things here, and hope he comes to realize it doesn't matter how much money he has if he can't put respect on my fucking name.
Rue's grip tightens, the cigar crumbling under his fingers.
You know, I think I've had a change of heart, kid. If he wants to meet, it's only fair he gets to meet us both.
Excitement erupts in my stomach. Excellent news. My eyes stray to the computer screen, noticing that Wendy and her friends are leaving. Standing up, I button my suit jacket. If you'll excuse me, there are a few loose ends from the night I'm desperate to tie up. Rue waves me off, drinking from his brandy. I leave the room, using the back stairwell to exit the club, so I'm not seen. Slinking around the side of the building, I watch as Wendy hugs her friends goodbye and clambers into a yellow cab, disgust filling me at her recklessness and the complete disregard her friends have for her safety. Her father has money, yet he doesn't afford her a driver? Any protection? Sliding into my Audi, I pull onto the busy street to follow close behind and make sure she gets home safe. I have no interest in owning something damaged, even temporarily. And until I decide otherwise, Wendy Michaels is mine.
Okay. Woo! I did not know what to expect, but the book was a little spicy. Oh, I mean, is this Haunting Adeline in the UK? What? All right. Shit. That has been the prologue and the first 4 chapters of Hooked. Wow. Woo! This is going to be a good book. I'm excited. My man is crazy and off his rocker, and our girl is oblivious as hell. Yeah, she bumped into that man and was just like, Jesus Christ. And then her friend, we stared at each other from across the bar. He's so into me. Nah, girl, he ain't into you at all. He wasn't looking at you. He was looking at Wendy. My boy was looking at Wendy. He was like, yeah. James was like, I want to put my hook in that. You know what I mean? Woo! And then the whole, like, I want to fuck her daughter on the dead body of him and shit. I'm like, yo, mans is crazy. Hey, this is going to be a good book. Cannot wait till next week. Woo! You guys are in for a fucking treat. All right. So, if you're on Patreon, I'll see you tomorrow. If you are a free 99 person, we'll see you on Tuesday. Or actually Monday. Sorry, for the live stream. Love you guys all. We'll see you on Monday for the live stream. And peace.